Good evening, everybody. It is Sunday night. It has been a gorgeous weekend here, sunny and gorgeous both days. And this review is a special one. Last week we did something a little different. We had Alex on Instagram Live. She had me on her show, and if you missed it, please watch it because she is amazing. She's one of the most amazing human beings on the planet. The things she's overcome are just incredible, and the things that she's doing now are even more so. So if you missed it, it's on my website. It's on my Instagram. But look for her show. Watch it. Follow her on Instagram. Alexi Talbot. She's just fantastic, and what a treat. I mean, we talked for an hour, and I felt like we talked for 20 minutes. But it delayed this review, and this is an important one. And these reviews, one of the things I need to be real clear on and real upfront about is how important they are, but it's not the number of them. It is the people that send them in, the people that take the time to do it. And, in the beginning I was frustrated because if we would have hit a certain number, the algorithm for Audible would have shot the book to a different spot. It didn't happen that way, but now it's still going and it's fine. And one of my friends told me that it's kind of hard to write a review for a book like this because of the topic, and they don't want to put their name on it because they don't want people to think they have a problem or that someone they love has a problem. I get it. I totally get it. If I got one review and it was what it was, 5-star, whatever, that would be fine. So I understand how difficult it is to write these things. I wrote the book, so I know how hard it is to write the other stuff too. It's not easy. The things we talk about are not easy things. So the fact that people have the courage to write these things is appreciated more than you know. And I empathize because I know how hard it is to put yourself out there. That's what happens when you write a book. So it's no different. Your name's with it. Your words are there for the world to read, and it takes a lot of courage. So for everybody that's done it, thank you. For everybody that's reached out to me personally, privately, thank you. All these words are encouraging, and they are helping me forge forward with the next book that's out April 27th. Cover art looks to be complete. I'm pretty excited about that. It turned out really nice. But I want to talk about this review. And I'm going to spill the beans on who it is, and because it's important. Her name's on there, and it's not hard to figure out who it is. It's my niece, and she's an angel of a kid. I remember when she was born, and that's been a while, but I've been here longer than that. So the fact that she wrote this, really, it's not shocking because she's brilliant. What shocked me was that A, she even listened to the book, and B, that she took the time to write something like this. I know some of the struggles she's having right now. I'm familiar with them. I have a similar one on my end of the country as well, but I'm going to read this to you, and then we'll talk about it. And then there's another piece of advice that I'm going to kind of tape or staple or glue on to Courtney's message because it's important. And this kind of goes hand in hand. So I'll read this out, and then we'll start chatting. Wave to a Stranger. This book is a real treasure trove of intentional and unintentional advice. By the end of the book, you understand what hope should never die. Maybe I should learn to read these things first, huh? Why patience is a virtue, and why kindness doesn't cost a thing. At the end of this book, you'll unintentionally start waving to that stranger and start asking honest questions about the relationships you have with the people around you. Thank you for the amazing read and the lifelong lessons. I told Courtney I'd practice this, and I did. I never practice these things. I pick them up and I read them and I go. But that flub in there is maybe because I'm nervous because this is important. The Wave to a Stranger chapter, that's a big one. That was one of my dad influences. And I know Courtney's been there, and she's been at Dad's house. Dad would be so pleased that this is the next generation taking his advice and sharing it with the rest of the world. So he would do that. It wouldn't matter who was going by, what was happening. Dad waved to everybody. And that constant, why? Who is that? Who's that? I wanted to know who it was. And it didn't matter. And if they didn't wave back, it didn't matter. Dad didn't do it for I'm waving to you so you can wave to me. He waved because it was nice. And that's what we talked about in that chapter. And so right now, I know the fact that she picked up on that particular chapter, if Dad were here, he would be so pleased. He was always quite fond of her, as am I. So the piece of this about the honest questions about relationships you have with the people around you, that piece of the review was a pretty hard slap in the face in a good way. Because I did reach out to her about this review. I asked her permission to use it and to feature it. And I asked her about that relationships around you. And we were texting back and forth. One of the things that happens to people in recovery or people that make gigantic blunders and make horrible choices like I did is there is so much collateral damage around you. And you can say, I'm sorry. You can write, I'm sorry. And you can write whatever poem or book or whatever you want to do. But that apology doesn't mean shit unless you show the change behavior. And one of the things that she just taught me with this review is people are watching. And there's people that will be forever upset, and that's their right and their choice, and I have to respect that, and I do. I mean, what I did was pretty awful. But what I'm trying to do is hopefully pretty good on the other side of that, so eventually I can balance out this equation. But what she said to me was she'd been burned before by another guy, and an influential person in her life, and I'm not going to name who it is because it doesn't matter. It's just another influential person. And as did I. The difference is I'm trying to make it better, trying to do it right, and the other guy doesn't really care. I don't think he's even realized that he's made such a gigantic blunder. I think it's some people are just oblivious, and that's how they get through life. And everybody says they'll get theirs, but do they? Who knows? It's not for us to administer that dish of what you deserve. But the fact that she had the courage to tell me, I've been sitting back here watching, and I wanted to know if this is real, if this change is real. Damn, it is real. And she saw that, and that's a big deal. So the fact that she even read this is a big deal. That shows me that anybody can do what I'm doing or what I've done. If you make the mistake, if you have the bad choices, if you do the wrong things, if you change your behavior and you're consistent and you keep doing the next right thing, you have a chance. There's a very good chance you could keep moving forward and repair these things. There's going to be some people that don't want you to repair it. They're going to be the ones that will stand there and boo. That's okay. That's their prerogative. It's unfortunate that they cause their own collateral damage, but again, all we can do is the next right thing, stay on the right path, and keep going. Make sure you know, or make sure you share how important the people around you are. I got to spend a great deal of time with her. Not enough, there's never enough time, but with her and the rest of the kids when they were back in Michigan for Dad's celebration and the week before. And they're wonderful. They're beautiful children, and I missed out a lot because of my bad choices. The nice part is I'm still here, they're still here, and there's a little bit of time left to keep fixing stuff and keep working on things. And so thank you for that lesson. It's possible. So whatever you've done, if you haven't murdered somebody or whatever, but don't give up. Never give up. There's hope. And the loved ones around you love you. They might not want to reach out right now because they may be upset, confused, angry, sad, all of it. It's a big ball of yuck. And it's hard to unwind that ball. So don't give up. Keep going. If I can have that little girl back in my life, little girl, she's older now, but she's still a little girl to me. That gives me hope for other projects as well. So Courtney, thank you for reaching out and doing this review. It is a hugely powerful one, and to be able to be taught lessons like this from youngsters is a big deal. It doesn't have to come from older to younger. It can go the other way. So I'm thankful for that. And it's kind of neat that she picked on that chapter where I learned that lesson, that wave to a stranger thing at my house growing up, my childhood home. And I know she's seen it. I know she's been there with my dad, her grandpa, and I know she's seen him wave and wondering who the hell it is. So that's a big deal. I'm really thankful she picked that piece out. The relationships around you, you have to be careful with those. You have to measure them because you have value. Every single person on the planet has a value, good or bad. But if you ignore your value and sacrifice your value to try to gain favor or try to mend a relationship that doesn't need to be mended right now, or that the other person isn't willing to do their part, diminishes your value. Don't let that happen. That's not fair. You are valuable. Cherish that value and respect yourself. If the other people don't want to be there, you can't force them. If they do come back and they are there, and they're not all the way in, are you really doing yourself any favors? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Probably no. But don't forget about how valuable you are as a person. Lots of people don't. The people around us don't forget how valuable we are. We do it to ourselves. So maintain that value. Okay? I'm going to finish it up. This one's running long. I could talk a long time about this kid, but she's probably embarrassed, and I don't mean to do that. The other piece of this is because she mentioned that relationship thing and how to move forward in these lifelong lessons. Another person gave me a comment based on some of the things I've been saying lately. And she's really another one of those. I'm surrounded by brilliant people, which really helps. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be able to tie my shoes. They don't make the Velcro ones anymore, and that's a problem. The quote from this message, this was a private message, and I'm not going to say who did it, but I'll give you the snippet. If you keep living from a place of what you have done instead of a place of what you're doing in the present, you are bringing that toxic energy with you. Drop the baggage. I didn't want to hear that advice. I'm like, I know, I got it. I've got it figured out. And she's right. I have been. You, as a human, me as a human, we tend to carry guilt, and it's very heavy. And we're going to talk about that one day. But that relationship thing, that value thing, that toxicity and the baggage, it wears on a person. It's like carrying a car battery around. They're heavy when you pick them up, but walk a block with them, see how much heavier they feel. Haven't gained any weight, haven't changed anything. They're just heavier because you're more tired. So with this piece, it was time to put the baggage down. It's time to focus on the present. It's time to focus on the good. And what do we always say at the end of each one of these things? Do the next right thing and keep going. So thank you for all that good advice. I hope you got something out of this. That review is not the longest as far as words, but it's one of the most important ones. So thank you, Courtney, for writing that. And for the other person that sent me that message of get your head out of your ass and drop the baggage, thank you for that too. I'm going to do that. So that's it for tonight. It was a little rambly because this one's an emotional one. And sometimes I don't always do the best with that. But I hope you liked it. And thank you. Thank you for all the support. This book, the things it's done, is nothing that it was intended to do. I just wanted to get the story out there and help who I could with addiction. And we've leapt beyond addiction by 1,000,000 miles, and that's just amazing to me, and I'm thankful for that. So anything I can do to help, let me know. Again, my website's derekchowan.com. I try to put all the links there. We had a little bit of a snafu earlier where somebody got one of the old first edition red books, and we made that right. We got our proper book, but they got it from Amazon. Somebody else had one that must have been for free or something and sold it on Amazon. So like my buddy said, the rookie cards are the most valuable, I guess. But if you want to get the right versions and the most current information, go to derekchowan.com. You want to send me an email? info@derekchowan.com. Thanks again. I look forward to next Sunday. We're going to cut back on the, what do you call them? blogs and podcasts for a little bit because we got a book to wrap up. So the next few weeks might be slim on material, but I don't think that's going to hurt anybody's feelings. It's getting nice out. It's more fun to be outside anyway. All right, long enough. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.